Engineering Center right here on Drexel University's campus. Now, prior to initially meeting me, students, you've seen some talented, prominent people from this university that actually graduated from this center from engineering. Now, as you see, if you follow along with me, there are some missing towels right here. And those missing towels can possibly be your name on it. But yet there's one thing that you're initially going to have in order to complete that feat. And that one thing is motivation. Now today's lesson is on motivation. And what I want you to do with me, I want you to follow along with me inside my classroom to learn about motivation. So we're finally inside of the classroom. And today's lesson is all about motivation. And motivation is one of the key components to have when you want to be successful. Now, a lot of people always think, where does motivation come from? Does it come within or does it come without? And those two notions are actually true when you want to be motivated. And here are the two types of motivators that applies to motivation. One is extrinsic. The other is intrinsic. But first, let me go over extrinsic. Extrinsic motivation occurs when we are motivated to perform a behavior or engage in an activity in order to earn a reward or avoid a punishment. An example of extrinsic motivation is studying for a test in order to get an A. Also, another example of extrinsic motivation is to clean your room. That way you can avoid a punishment. Also, another example of extrinsic motivation is to babysit a younger sibling or a cousin just to earn a tangible monetary reward. Now, hopefully you understand what extrinsic means. And all extrinsic means is to get something in order to feel good, in order to feel as though that you are motivated. Now, on the opposite hand, intrinsic is totally different. So let's visit intrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation involves engaging in a behavior because it's personally rewarding. An example of intrinsic motivation is just playing on a sports team because you're part of the team, you feel good. Another example of intrinsic motivation is watching your younger sibling because you love them.
I love you, you love me.
Another type of intrinsic motivation is studying because you acquire more knowledge and you feel good about it. We talked about extrinsic and intrinsic motivation. Now, let's see what researchers actually say about the two types of motivation. Researchers have arrived at three major conclusions with regards to extrinsic rewards and their influence on intrinsic motivation. Unexpected external rewards typically do not decrease intrinsic motivation. For example, if you get a good grade on a test because you enjoy learning about the subject and the teacher decides to reward you with a gift card to your favorite pizza place, your underlying motivation for learning about the subject will not be affected. However, this needs to be done with caution because people sometimes come to expect such rewards. 2. Praise can help increase internal motivation. Researchers have found that offering positive praise and feedback when people do something better in comparison to others actually improve intrinsic motivation. And 3, intrinsic motivation will decrease. However, when external rewards are given for completing a specific task or doing a minimum work, for example, if parents keep lavish praise on their child every time he completes a simple task, he will become less intrinsically motivated to perform a task in the future. Now to conclude this lesson, let me leave you with this one final thought. As you learned during today's lesson, extrinsic and intrinsic motivation are both important ways of driving behavior. In order to comprehend how the two can be best utilized, it's imperative to understand some of the key differences between the two types of motivation and the overall impact that's going to have on you.